You know, I look at that video, and my sister told me, Susie, told me a saying one time, and that it's one of those things that kind of makes you scratch your head and go, But the quote, what I would say if I could wrap that video up in a quote, it's the pain of the distance is the price of the journey. And I would like to explain that to you, but I'm still trying to figure that one out. So you just take it and make it for whatever you want it. But I was walking around here this morning and I was thinking about it. It's kind of ruined my little story, but I'll go on and give it to you anyway. There's a cowboy. It's snowing real hard, and it's Sunday morning, and he thinks, you know, I need to go to church today. And so, man, he gets up and gets around, and man, it's blown in a blizzard now. He gets to church. Sure enough, the only person there is the preacher. So they kick the snow out from in front of the door, and they go into church and light the fires. And you all that go to a small country church, you'll know that they don't have, they still use a gas-burning stove at most of them. So they lit the fire, and they're both sitting around there waiting for everybody else to show up. And about 10-15 minutes goes by, and the preacher says, well, Cowboy Joe, he says, don't look like anybody else is going to show. He said, we might as well not even have church today. Preacher says, all right, buddy. So he said, well, sit your tail down right there. So Cowboy Joe sits on the front row, and this preacher opens up his Bible, and he commenced the preaching to this man for 3.5 hours. Cowboy sits there the whole time, listens to him. Church is over with. Like good Southern Baptist preachers do, they go to the back and meet all the patrons as they're going out. Cowboy Joe walks to him, shakes his hand. He said, well, preacher, he said, you know, I told you that if only one cow came up whenever I called them up to feed them and the weather was bad and whatever, he said, I do feed her, he said, but I don't give her the whole dang load of feed that I got on my truck. That was for free today. No charge on that one. You know, this has been a privilege and been an honor for me to be able to do this, and it has, like John, we talked about, this has probably stretched me. You know, I was a little bit, when we first talked about this, if you say it real fast, it really doesn't make you too nervous about, you know, give a little motivational talk every morning for, 10 mornings in a row, or 11 as this one is. And, because I'm good for a word in the morning every once in a while. About every third morning, I can wire and fire people up just a little bit and inspire, but it's kind of been the whole premises for this whole deal has been for me is kind of I've kind of used myself as an example in what I'm talking about every day is how you want to stretch yourself, how you want to put yourself in an uncomfortable position to be able to make yourself better, to make yourself step up and get yourself out of your comfort zone. We saw a lot of guys last night that were roping for gold buckles. We watched guys that were roping to just try to win some money that hadn't won anything. These guys have put it all on the line not 10 days. They and not a year. This has been a lifetime of achievement. I think that's man, we get to cheat the system. We get to come watch the best of the best in our sport compete and put it on the line for 10 days in a row, and it wasn't just what they prepared when they started preparing for this 6 weeks ago after they knew they made the national finals. We were getting to watch literally hundreds of years of blood, sweat, and tears go into what we got to watch in a matter of less than 2 hours each night. And in the timed events and the rough stock events both, the really highlights of the whole deal takes less than 8 seconds. But if you think about all the time that was put in behind that and how much work and how much sacrifice was made, not from those guys, because and most of them, any of them that will be the first ones that tell you if they want to be honest with you, and that's this. it's not just their sacrifice. There's a lot of people behind the scenes that have to make a lot of sacrifices to be able to make that happen for each one of those guys to be able to be out there in that arena. It takes lots of support, lots of finances, lots of people sacrificing their own goals, their own time, and their life also to be able to make that possible for them to be able to make a living, but most importantly to be able to chase their dreams. And I have a little quote here that I read from time to time. It's from Theodore Roosevelt, Teddy Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of good deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with dust, sweat, and blood, who strives valiantly and errs and comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error or shortcoming. But who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that all his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know neither victory nor defeat. You know, you get to thinking about that and you think, well, you know, we're here at the finals and we're to celebrate these championships and these championship guys, but that's not what it's all about. Just these guys, because each one of us are called. Each one of us are called to something very specific. We have a very specific destiny for each one of us, and that's for us to fulfill our lives, to be the best we can be. Now, we can use them as inspiration, and we can learn from their mistakes. But it's not about the guy that's in the arena, because we're all in the arena. We're all in the arena of life. And, you know, the cool thing that I've learned about myself and the national finals that I never really had pointed out to me quite like this before. I've been coming out here since the early 90s. I've been both. I've been spectator, I've been contestant. I've erred on the side of the defeat. I've erred on the side of victory. I think I've probably experienced the NFR in more ways than most have. I've been out here with my arm in a sling, career over with. I've been out here whenever they gave me a gold buckle, and I drove home on Sunday afternoon with a gold buckle. So, and then I've been to where I've watched I'm a fan. I'm a fan of rodeo. But in life, I don't want to be just a fan. I want to be a player. I want to be somebody. But what I've had brought to my revelation, that's been revealed to me this week, is truly, truly, truly the Western world, how much of a family it is. And it's crazy. It's going to be hard for me to explain it the way it's been revealed to me, because I think this was for me. I'll try to share it with y'all. But all the way down to the family atmosphere at NRS. I mean, Jim Lamoran, David Isham, everybody that's involved, all the girls behind the scene, their families, my family, how this has been just an open forum for discuss my faith, what makes me tick. Nobody said anything to me about, hey, you're a little long, you need to tone it down a little bit. You know, it makes me think that if this world was going to be a better place, how are we going to make it a better place? Well, not to say that I've got anything figured out, but I definitely would like to be able to have people speaking life instead of death, and instead of pointing out all the things that we're doing wrong. And the Western people in the Western world, people that are in this community, in this world, are really, truly what we're supposed to be doing. People still do things with a handshake. They still look at each other in the eye without having a lawyer standing beside them. There's still kids in this in this community that know what a gun is used for. And it's all right to go use a gun. And we don't have things happen like what happened up there in the Northeast this week. And we have parents that are sowing into their kids, that are speaking life into their kids. They're not turning them loose with a video game and 18 hours later wonder where they're at because they've drinking a rock star and been sitting in front of this TV shooting characters on TV. I appreciate that's the reason that I'm still in this industry, is because I do believe in the people. I believe in what the cowboy stands for. It's not a way of life for me. It's down in my blood. Because, not necessarily because I'm a roper or because I like to ride a horse. It's because it's the down-to-earth good people that are here. And I tell you this because you're here. You're in this community. Whether you are part of it or not, you're in it. And there's some interest in this, or you wouldn't be here. And so each one of us are called to be down in the arena, to be that light to somebody, to take the time, no matter whether you're standing in a club somewhere, or whether you're standing in a jackpot team roping, or whether you're in a cubicle in your office. You are a light to somebody. You're called and you're put in their life for a reason. And it's not just for them. If you look at it and get the big picture, the cool thing about God is this: He works in all things. Matthew 6:33. God works in all things, right? What's all things? That's all things. So that means if I'm speaking life into somebody and I'm taking the time to where I'm talking to somebody to what I would think, well, I'm helping that person out. Stop for just a second. Stop just for a second and don't get such a big head about the deal to think, well, I'm doing this for them. Hey, buddy, you're privileged enough to be able to be speaking life. You know who you're representing? Who's the ultimate of all life, and that's God. You're representing God. How cool is that you get the opportunity to speak life into somebody? And so that's what I say today is look for your assignments. Look where because I'll promise you, and look for them and ask for them. Hey, where am I supposed to be today? What am I supposed to be doing? But I'm telling you, I'm going to give you a little warning. Whenever you do ask for this and you look for them, get ready. You're going to start seeing them because God will point them out to you. He'll bring them to you. Next thing you know, you'll turn around and you're liable to bump into them. They'll be there. So be ready to it, and then ask for the courage. Ask for the courage to step into that, to step into your destiny, to be able to meet what you have, not just for you, but for everybody you have in contact, because it'll come back to you. It comes back to you. I don't do to get back, but it happens that way because you know what? God's working in all things. And so I know this one thing, and it's for me, and it's for each one of y'all. He that began a good work in me will not stop until it's completed. I know this. It says it in the book, okay? And God's promises are just as strong today as they ever were. He's still on his throne. This world's not going to hell in a handbasket, all right? We're all right. It's good, because you know what I see? Whenever there's great adversity, man, what kind of advantage can we take of that? There's great opportunity. Anytime you see adversity, some people see adversity, I want to see opportunity. No matter what and who it is and wherever it is. Look for your opportunity. Look for your destiny, because we all got one. We're all called to be in this arena. We're all the ones that's down there with the muck on the face and the blood, sweat, and tears. So take advantage of it. Take an opportunity of it. I want to thank everybody that's had anything to do with this. This has been such a family atmosphere here at NRS. These guys have been, this show has been, it's been, for me, it's been one of the greatest blessings I've ever had, is to be able to do this, to be able to be here, be part of this family, be part of this Western world. My hat's off to each and every one of y'all that come out here and you make the NFR part of your holidays, part of your vacation, part of your career, being a part of it. That makes us family, right? And that's what it's all about. It's all about the relationships that we have in this world, and what because we ain't gonna take no gold buckle out of here. We ain't gonna take no $1 million out of here. We're not gonna take some trailer that we want out here at the South Point, or 100,000, or whatever it is. You ain't taking none of that stuff out of here. You can't take none of these chips with you. In fact, they don't even do you any good once you leave here. Okay? So let's go down there and bet it all at one time. Let it roll, right? Yeah, you can talk that way, you know. But I appreciate everything, and I appreciate everybody that's had anything to do with this. And John, thank you. I appreciate all you've done, and he's done a great job this week with the whole show and organizing everybody and all the clinicians that's coming here, from Big Al to Crease we just, you know, there's been a lot of information that's going on right up. Not necessarily say I gave you any information. Maybe I gave you a lot of things to think about and go, he's crazy. I am crazy. All right, that's it. Thank y'all.